Oh, well, hello. I guess you catch me unboxing something. My latest passion, my latest pursuit. Something I've wanted to do for a long time, and I finally pulled the trigger. And I didn't buy just one, but I actually bought 4 of these things. I bought 4 3D printers. Now, this is the nicest of the 4 that I bought. 2 of those that I bought, one came as a promo deal, so I basically got it for free, but that's one of the 2 that are assembled do-it-yourself kits. The other one is a big tall one that comes in 3 chunks, but I have to put those chunks together. This one here is all assembled just the way it is. Let's take a look at what this is. JG Aurora. Of course, all of the companies are in China, but the truth is, and y'all know how I feel about buying American versus buying Chinese, but the truth is that it's sort of like the photography world, that just about all of the equipment that comes from China that's made in this particular industry is really of a pretty good quality, pretty outstanding quality. I don't think this is going to be any exception. Let's get this up on the bench. All right, here we go. Oh boy. Move that box out of the way. Set that up here. And well packed. Look at that box, man. That's 3/4 of an inch thick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up in my computer and see what I get here, what I need to do. All right, so let's pause the video for right now. Right now I'm looking on the driver install, and it says normally it'll be installed in auto to a USB port over here, one that's out of the way. The only disadvantage to having a gigantic computer is that it's a gigantic computer. You know what I mean? All right. Y'all see the lights. All right, we're going to sort of cut to the chase here. And here is this printer after I finally got the driver installed, got everything working, got everything set up, and we're printing the very first project, which turns out to be just a little tiny cell phone stand, which was cool but not very interesting. So I am going to show you something else I made with this printer, and I'm about a week later now and making something for that Philco that I'm working on. So let's take a peek. I'm working on a Philco radio right now, 471230, and this next project is going to be for that radio. Okay, well here's the printer making the very first few layers of that little box for the preamp. I just downloaded the print file off of Thingiverse, and I've never built this one before, so we'll see how it goes. And I would like the box to be able to be mounted to the cabinet somehow. And you see that this particular file has little slots for screws in the feet, so I think this is actually maybe going to work out okay. This thing's going to take about 4 hours to print, so I'll check in every now and then and see how it's looking. Okay, check it out, guys. It's building a bridge across the gap between 2 pieces, 2 sections of the thing. So this is a little box that has like 3 feet on the bottom of it, and it's closed in between the 3 feet. So it's kind of building that little bridge, and it started by building that one stringer like that. Every time it would go across from one to the other, it would run that stringer with it. And I just thought it was, you know, not stopping it like it should, but now I understand. It's pretty cool. Now it'll probably start cross-hatching back and forth the next layer. Okay, this thing is building up the floor now, or one side of it actually. It's not really the floor. Actually, it is the floor. So it's building up the floor. Those are the 3 feet you see with the adhesion base. So what it does is it adds a wider base to help it adhere to the bed plate. And you can see that still on that one on the lower right, this one over here, it wants to lift away a little bit. So it's a good thing it's there. But it's kind of building that floor up. And I put on this one 50% fill because I want it to be a little bit strong. The file on Thingiverse recommended a 20% fill setting, but I wanted it to be a little stronger, so it uses about 3 grams more of plastic than it otherwise would. So this thing is going to measure. It's going to measure. I believe it's 38 grams when it's done, which is pretty heavy. And originally, and that's with the top. So, but originally with 20% fill, it was going to measure 35 grams. So let's take a look a little closer if we can get there and see what that cross-hatching looks like. You can see where the fill has to do with how dense that cross-hatching is. And of course that relates to how strong the thing is. Now surfaces that are exterior are 100% fill. This just, or 100% covered, you know. The fill just refers to what's in between the solid walls of the model. That original print ultimately failed because of that lifting corner, so I'm going to try it with an easier material, a white PLA plastic. Well, here it is, almost finished with the box. It should be done with the box here in about 10 minutes or so. A couple more layers, I think, and we're done. It's looking pretty good now. I had to do a different material, and the truth is it was scaled wrong, and I had to size it up a little. So I got about 2 hours into the last print and realized it wasn't going to work out, so I had to abort that print and start this one. And this material was sticking to the bed a little better, but I also adjusted, I leveled the bed, and I think that was my issue. So it had been lifting away from the bed, and I think the leveling, it probably fixed it more than the material, but I thought I'd try that. And besides, I kind of dig this white marbled material anyway, so we're going to see how it turns out. Well, I can't wait to get it off of here. As I mentioned, I was having some real adhesion problems, but I think I figured it out. Well, here we are almost done with the box. About 6 hours into the print, believe it or not. These things are slow, they're not fast. But we're almost done. And here in about 15 minutes or so, we'll finish by putting on put on a couple more layers on the bottom, and then we'll be finished with it. The original one, as you remember, was kind of a brownish color. Well, it turns out that I had sized this wrong in the print software, and so I had to restart it. And then I decided I wanted to try it with this material anyway. This is kind of a marbled white. Also, it had started coming loose from the print bed here, and I had tried several prints, and all of them were lifting away, and it was messing up the prints. Well, it turns out that all I needed to do was level this print bed. There's some screws there, 2 up front and 2 in the back, that level this print bed. And when you level it, you set the distance between it and the tip of the extruder. So that was the problem. That distance was too great, and it was causing that plastic not to adhere. So problem solved. I think I might try that brown material next after this one. Well, there it is, guys. My first project. And let's see how it looks. I'm going to lift it up off of the bed plate here in a second. Let's take a look at how it settled on this thing. Did it lift up or anything like that? As you can see, it's still pretty firmly attached to the bed, so that's good. I think the bed leveling was all I really needed to do. And you can see all the supports in there. What it does is it builds these supports across the width of the thing as it's building it up to kind of hold things together, and also it puts supports across, makes a bridge across the top so that when it starts to lay the heavier plastic on it, it doesn't sag. So that's what all that stuff is, and it'll come out of there easily. Alright, I'm going to pull this off here and see what it looks like. Working on the lids for the box now. This is the coolest damn thing I've ever seen. I'm really digging this, man. When I downloaded this 3D file from Thingiverse, the box had 2 lids. Now I'm not going to use one of the lids for what I'm using this for. But I just went ahead and let it print both in case I break one or something. Well, let's take a look at the back side of this thing. I don't really want to show you the front because I'm going to save that for the Philco video when it comes out. But check it out. Here's the box with whatever mystery electronics I've decided to stick in there. And you can see I sized it just to fit the electronics. So the cool thing about 3D printing is most 3D print files you can customize, and dimensionally you can make it work for you. There's the sides. Those ribs are part of the design. They look kind of cool. I could paint this with like a steel it paint and it would look like a metal box. That would look awesome. I'm going to try that on one soon. And you can see it's easy to drill holes and do whatever you need to do, and it has little feet in it and stuff like that. And all this stuff is really cool. And once I learn how to operate with some of the 3D design software, the stuff that's not CAD, well, then I'll be able to do my own 3D designs too, using, you know, the kind of moving around of different geometries to make things work. There's the back side of it. There's one of the lids that I was showing you the 3D printer was making. And it's pretty cool, actually. I really kind of enjoy the way this whole thing turned out. So there we go. There's my new hobby, my latest pursuit, and it will roll right into the radio thing, just like everything else I do. I don't do anything without it having some kind of tie-in to radios. I just wanted to kind of show this to you, and you'll see 3D printed things pop up every now and then in what I'm doing from now on. And I'm going to get a lot better at this. This is something I'm putting a lot of time into, and we'll get on with it. All right, guys, from your Western Outpost in Salt Lake City, this is Michael, and that's all for now.